All right, what I tell you, my boys at FCP came through. Got my package, ordered on Sunday, shipped out Monday morning, and got here Wednesday. Let's see what we got. Big old jug of Pentosan .4 LV for Benz's stuff. And there we go. SKF WKH6546 is the wheel bearing. Little unboxing video for you. This is the whole kit. Brand new bolts for everything. This is the main guy that you want. This is a torque to yield deal, so you definitely want to make sure that's replaced. All right, here's our bearing, new one. And here's our old hub. And as I was mentioning, so this has to go in like so. And this whole assembly will push into the hub. So we'll take this thing over to the press and get this whole deal going. Before we move further forward, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors. Hydration, Caffeination, couldn't have done it without you boys. And also to my wife who ran out of coffee and then she went to the store just to keep me going. Thanks, babe. So as I mentioned before, you want to use just a little bit of grease to prevent any galling metal-to-metal contact. You can wipe this off for any foreign material. Looks good. Go on ahead and get your diddler. There's some of the KY jelly on here. So make sure when you're putting this in, remember, this goes into the, towards the vehicle, towards the actual, what do you call that thing? The goddamn knuckle. So you want to make sure this is to the knuckle. The bolts are going to thread in. You have the flat face towards wherever it's going to be threading in. So as you're putting this together, you want a nice flat surface. Make sure you're centered, nice and supported. So as you're pressing this bearing back onto this hub, you want to make sure you're actually pressing. What we can do is support the bearing flat on this nice flat surface. And now this bearing is completely supported by the outer flange itself. You never want to load the bearing itself inside because that could damage the bearing itself and it's going to not be fun. So we have everything lubed up. We go ahead and press it, position it straight inside like so. There really is only one way to be able to put these on. You just won't be able to put it on backwards, frankly, because the first step will not be able to pass through. And to do this, you know, normally this would be flat. You don't want to press on here, so we're going to get a big old socket, some kind of pressing device that'll fit over here, and we can go flat down. Never throw away any kind of bearing races because these kind of come in real handy. And actually, here's one of the old outer races. So I got this nice kind of device. Now I'm going to put just another socket on here. There we are, pretty square. As you can see, I'm actually just using my finger inside the bottle jack. There's very little force that's necessary to push this in. The bearing is fully supported. Get a little harder. Still very little force. It should go in natural feeling. I'm going to keep watching this. You'll feel it, everything bottom out nicely, approaching. And feel a little bit of resistance. There it is, it's in. Back it off. There we go. Nice and tight. Everything's flush. That feels like a brand new quality bearing. Let's go ahead and push this in now. Let's get this bolt all the way pulled out. It's going to be junk. Like I said, it is torque to yield. Every time you have a angle on it, that's basically stretching the bolt, and that's what gives it the clamping force necessary. And I'm being very gentle with this. Now, as you're torquing these guys, you want to make sure to go in a cross pattern. You don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in a circle. Because again, if this is sitting just a little bit cockeyed in the bore, that can seize it in the bore, and then it's going to be off John a little bit here. So you want to do the same thing as you're torquing a wheel, cross pattern, that'll cinch it in nice and flat. These bolt bolts at the back, those are 80 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. Now just remember to plug all your fancy dancy wheel speed sensor and brake pad wear sensor back in, and we go ahead and get the wife to hold the pedal as we're going to torque this guy to 200 plus 180 Newton meters. Plus 180 degrees, Jesus. Brake pad wear sensor plugged back in. Wheel speed sensor plugged back in. Make sure you don't have any of your caliper hanger brackets in there. Everything's back on, good to go. Back side of the bearing is torqued to spec. Let's go ahead and torque the front now. No rumble. And no increase in noise as you're loading the bearing side to side. Job complete.